Welcome to the Virtual Concert Hall's live show. My guests tonight are prize winners of the 2020 Sound Espressivo Global Competition. I am extremely privileged to interview the incredible Yerko Difonis, who is a partially deaf and blind pianist, and the very talented Artem Kopylov, who is an exceptional pianist from Canada. Artem is also going to play live for us tonight, which is very exciting. And here's the thing, a lot of people talk about how classical music is a dying art. Why do we continually and consistently have young people who defy all odds to continue to play this music? And this is what we're going to talk about tonight. If classical music is a dying art, then why are all these young people still flocking to play the music of Chopin, Rachmaninoff, Bach, Beethoven? This is something really important, and I hope that with this broadcast and with our competition, we can promote this even more to the world. And today, we also explore the reasons why music of the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st century continue to be relevant even in our digital age. And so get ready for a show that's going to inspire and give you hope. Before I introduce my guests today, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our competition, the 2021 Sound Espressivo Global Competitions. Now, the guests tonight actually participated in the 2020 Sound Espressivo Global Competition, and they're prize winners. And so they're going to tell us about their experience, but I want to tell you about this year's as well. So this year's is really, really great, and there's 5 things you need to know. The first thing is that there are no time limits for the semi-finals or the finals rounds. And what does that mean? That means that people who get into the semi-finals and finals are able to play as long as they want, as much music as they want. And this allows them to explore repertoire that they might be really interested in. And which brings me to the second thing you need to know about the Sound Espressivo competition, and that is that there are no repertoire requirements of any kind at any stage of our competition. We don't require Chopin etudes, we don't require anything. We just require that you play what you want to play and showcase that on the virtual music stage. The third thing is that there is immediate feedback from our jury members, and this is really great. This is, I think, one of the best parts of this competition, that right after you play, you get to know what the audience thinks, and more specifically, what the jury members think. And you get a mini masterclass, and you just get some feedback, some affirmation, and some closure after you play, which is really, really important. And the fourth thing is that our prizes have a total value of over $100,000 US. Now, we don't give away any cash prizes, but the performance opportunities, the management, career coaching, website design, and all the scholarships for masterclass festivals amount to something that's truly world-class. And our guest tonight, one of our guests, Yerko Difonis, actually is the recipient of one of these really extravagant opportunities to perform at the Carnegie Hall, courtesy of Virtual Concert Halls. Now, the fifth thing and the last thing is that every round of the competition will be live broadcasted just like this, and you'll get to hear the performances live. There's no recordings, everything is live broadcasted, and this gives you an excitement. There's a feeling of, wow, what's going to happen? And you get, some artists who may want to present their material a bit more. They might want to do some audio visual tools to bring the listener in, and so this is going to be a very, very exciting year. Check out our website below, soundespressivocompetition.com, for further details and for the application. We guarantee that you'll have a really great time. Our tech crew and our broadcasting crew is just amazing. And for your students, or if you want to compete yourself, this is an excellent opportunity to showcase your music. So without further ado, let's introduce our guests for today, Artem Kopylov and Yerko Difonis. So this is a really exciting broadcast for me personally, because I have the opportunity to interview two guests. So the first guest tonight is Chilean pianist Yerko Difonis, and he's prize winner of the 2020 Sound Espressivo Global Competition, and his story is really extraordinary. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He plays 5 instruments, and you can correct me later if I'm wrong. He plays piano, guitar, bass, among other instruments, and he's able to learn these in spite of the limited hearing he has. He's a very accomplished pianist, being prize winner of our competition, but also he got accepted with full scholarship to the master's program at Rutgers University, at the Mason Gross School of the Arts. He has won the 2010 VSA International Young Soloist Award for New York State. Yerko learns music via Braille, which I finally find so inspiring. Braille helps visually impaired music students, but ultimately a lot of it comes down for him to learning by ear, and he has developed a knack for memorizing, which is something I need to learn as well. Yerko has amazed audiences at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts, and he has studied at the LaGuardia High School of Music and Arts and Performing Arts. He faced some difficulties in 2010 when he was deported back to Chile, but in spite of difficulties with his visa, he has managed to come back. And now he's with us, and he's currently studying with Karina Brook. Our second guest for tonight is an exceptional pianist from Canada. He actually, I think he played before me in the competition last year, and it was so amazing. He's young Steinway artist Artem Kopylov, and is a recipient of the Canadian Young Artists Standards of Excellence Award, winner notice by the Steinway and Sons. He is an avid music ambassador. He's currently studying with Professor Olga Chikova, and he's taking private lessons with Grigory Gruzman. He is a winner of numerous national and international competitions for young pianists and has played with orchestras from the Toronto Symphony to Burlington, Moscow, and all over the world. He has been broadcasted and on the CBC, on Radio Canada, and has participated in festivals in Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Canada, the US, all over the world with artists such as Dmitry Bashkirov, Kiko Ebi, Andre Laplante, just to name a few. And it's just incredible what you've done. And Artem, you can correct me later if I'm wrong, but you're still in your teens. And it's incredible how much you've achieved in this kind of time. And so I really look forward to hearing more about what you want to do in the future. But after the first thing, which is the most exciting for me, is that we're going to have a live performance from Artem, who's performing Rachmaninoff's Musicaux Opus 16, number 6. And without further ado, whenever you feel comfortable, Artem, take it away. Bravo. Wow.
Okay.
I loved it. Artem, I'm going to let you prepare your mic back, but in the meantime, I'm just going to rain you with praise. That was absolutely incredible. You know, one of the hardest things I think in the last moment musical is you're playing with such thick textures and there's so many complicated things going on. You have triple counterpoint and everything, but you made it sound so beautiful and it was just so filled with love and care. And I think that's really important with Rachmaninoff's music when it's so often played with a lot of loud sounds and sometimes, you know, a bit too brutally. So I really appreciate that you did that. And as Artem is preparing his setup for the interview, yeah, this is just one of our examples of, he actually played this in the 2020 Sound Espressivo competition, and there's nothing wrong with playing pieces for competitions and for performances too. It's just wonderful to hear that it's actually sounding so much more easy and fluid for you. How do you feel about the piece now, Artem?
Well, yeah, this is, I would say, this is a regular piece I play at concerts and at competitions. It's just, it's such an intriguing piece. It's the last piece of the Musicaux, and I play all 6. But this one is truly a majestic close to the whole set, and it's by far my favorite piece because there are just so many layers of beautiful bell-like sounds that you see in Sergei Rachmaninoff's music all the time.
Yeah, I actually think that one of the most impressive things of your performance was how you were able to show those layers without it becoming thick and, I guess, sounding congested. You know, I guess your voicing for it it's just exceptional. Yerko, I would like to bring you on to the broadcast as well. During our chat before the thing, Yerko, you said you've also played this piece. What is your feeling of Rachmaninoff and these pieces?
No, I love them. Well, Rachmaninoff is one of my favorite composers, if not my favorite composer. I played these pieces. I played the Moment Musical a few years ago. In Chile. Yes, very difficult, very thick. This one with the point.
Yeah.
The second one as well.
Definitely.
And the fourth one, very, very difficult, but also very beautiful. Yeah.
So with Yerko, how did you learn something as difficult as Rachmaninoff? I mean, it's hard enough for us who can see the music, let alone someone like you who has to hear. Do you hear the individual lines and memorize it by the individual lines? How do you learn this kind of music?
No. Yeah, so I actually do not learn by ear. When I first started learning, when I was 6 years old, I would learn by ear. Then when I started studying, I normally learn by ear, but it came to a point that it was necessary for me to begin to learn how to read Braille. So what I do now is I actually learn from the Braille score, right, and then take it to the piano, right. So I actually do not learn by ear. It's impossible to do this by ear. It's way too complicated.
Wow.
I do
but
memorize
even on Braille, that's very impressive. I'm so inspired by you. And speaking of being inspired, I would love to share a clip of your playing from last year's competition. You played a beautiful Bach Prelude and Fugue in G major, and so let's hear some of that. Bravo! That was amazing. I mean, I miss notes, and I can see. I miss more notes than you, and I can see the piano. I don't know how you manage to miss so little and few notes. That was really, really beautiful. I want to ask a question for you, Yerko. How do you what do you feel when you're playing the piano, and what is your relationship with the keys? Because a lot of the time when I learn music, I am looking at the notes and I'm pressing the keys, and so I'm learning with my sight. What is your relationship with your fingers and the keys, and how you feel the distance between the notes and everything?
I'm actually not sure how to answer that. It's a bit difficult to answer. It's more than I can say. So many years of playing, I've learned the piano. It's sometimes especially if it's a new piece, it's sometimes a bit difficult, especially when I'm dealing with a new piano that I've never played before. We can do it, which is why I always prefer to test the piano before I play.
Yeah, same for me.
But the thing is, just I go by hearing mostly, and also by just knowing where the keys are and where everything is. Again, it has more to do with knowing the piece and play the piece before. I'll still miss notes or slip off the key and hit another key by mistake. But
wow,
yes,
no, that's really inspiring.
That's all I really can say on that.
Artem, I want to turn the question to you. So, you are around 18, right? Are you 18 now this year?
I'm 17, but I'm
still 17. Wow,
February.
that's okay. That's very okay. I want to ask a question about what inspires you. You've been all over the world. Could you share with us what you do to kind of be inspired? Do you read a lot? Do you watch movies? Or is it your teachers and who really inspire you to be able to make music the way you do?
I mean, with piano, I get to travel so much around the world. I get to meet so many new people, and I get to witness play at so many beautiful concert halls and explore so many new places. And I appreciate it. I appreciate those moments. I'm grateful for those moments, and that's what keeps me going. That's what drives me to continue playing. Because, frankly, I don't think I would get those same experiences if I didn't play piano. So
yeah. And you say in your bio that you're an avid music ambassador, and what does that mean for you? And what are you doing in terms of being a music ambassador, do you believe?
I actually got this term from, I think it was in 2015. I applied to Long Long's Allianz Foundation for piano foundation.
Nice.
I don't remember the exact name, but yeah. They asked a question: what does it mean for you to be a music ambassador? And that I dwelled on that thought, and it became, I coined that term myself. And a music ambassador for me is one that not only plays music, but one that promotes music worldwide. He or she has a positive impact on music, and there's this continuous movement of music, regardless of whether it's classic or any other genre. Music will always, you try to keep music revitalized, rejuvenated.
Yeah, I really like that, and I think it's really a common goal that I share with you as well, because I think there is one side of people who will say that music is dying, and classical music, no one wants to hear that anymore, it's too long. But on the other end, I think there's something really beautiful and worthwhile exploring. Yerko, I want to turn the question to you now. What's your experience with music and sharing it with others, especially from Chile in the US? Do you feel like it's something that's really important to you to share with others?
Well, first of all, I'd like to comment a bit on. I think you mentioned twice now that classical music is often considered a dying art. Um, I found it to be so. If it's I found it to be sort of a uh, not. I don't know if I would call it dying art more than niche art, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an art that is appreciated among a small number of people because for me, especially certain kinds of classical music, it's just of such high quality and it's such beautiful music that it demands to be preserved, to be played, right? Um, as to answer your question, um, my my inspiration to share music with others has less to do with music and more to do with um, the the I'm Christian. I believe that God has given me this gift to share it and um, to understand that this kind of music play Beethoven, Heine, Chopin, off. It's a way that um, I honor God for with my art.
Wow. No, that's very, thank you for that. That's very poignant. I think it's important that we, I think someone like J.S. Bach would write at the end of each piece he wrote, for the glory of God. And I think there's something that's very similar in your way of thinking of it, that these are gifts that your time and your resources and this beauty of the music, and you're just offering it to honor God and honor, the people around you. I think that's really beautiful. So before we wrap up, I want to say a big thanks to Artem, especially for performing live for us. It's really, really special. Yerko, thank you for joining us from New Jersey. Thank you for sharing with us what's important to you about music. There's something really exciting. Yerko Difonis is performing on February 22nd, 2022, at Carnegie Hall. Produced by Virtual Concert Halls, and it's a fantastic opportunity. I wish I could be there, and I wish I could hear you play live. It's just incredible, and to talk to you live as well. So thank you, both of you, for being a part of this. I also want to thank Sound Espressivo Competition for hosting this broadcast, for putting it all together, for History of Music, for being a space where we can actually put all of this together and broadcast it everywhere. Thank you so much for supporting us and for being a part of this mission. So without further ado, we'll also thank you to the tech team, especially our producer and director, Ante Bodrich-Kudrich, for making all this happen so smoothly. And until next time, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.